Another newcomer is likely heading to Congress in January.
I'm Jamaal Bowman, public school educator for 20 years, the son of a single mom raised in public housing. Growing up, my mother told me life wouldn't be easy for people like us. I live in our struggles. He's taken us for granted. After 31 years of the same, it's time for a change. In Congress, I will fight
In
for
a bit of an upset here,
health.
progressive candidate Jamaal Bowman beat 16-term incumbent Congressman Eliot Engel in the Democratic primary to represent New York's 16th district, which covers parts of the Bronx and Westchester. And while he still has the general election to look forward to, the district is heavily Democratic, meaning a job on Capitol Hill appears to be next. And there he is right there, Congressional Democratic nominee Jamaal Bowman joining me live this morning. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Doing well, thank you. So it took 3 weeks to announce this winner in this race due to the overwhelming number of absentee ballots, right? So let's get a final count. How much did you actually win by? Do you have the numbers?
I think at last count, we won by 15 points, so 55% to 40%. Don't know the exact numbers, but we were still able to pull out a pretty substantial victory. So we're obviously happy with the results.
Yeah, so congrats are in order for you. But Eliot Engel, he served the district for nearly 40 years, right? He had powerful supporters along the way, including Hillary Clinton, Governor Andrew Cuomo, for example, which is some pretty deep pockets and name recognition. So how did you, as a first-time politician, enter this race and go up against that along the way?
Well, from the very beginning, we were able to build deep, authentic relationships with people throughout the district. We launched our campaign on June 18th, 2019, and we began canvassing the entire district 1 week later. We were knocking doors in places like Co-op City, Edenwald, Yonkers, Wakefield, Mount Vernon, New Rochelle. We were knocking doors in places that had been ignored and neglected for a very long time. And we wanted to make it clear that we wanted them to be a part of the democratic process, not just a part of our campaign, and not just, we didn't just want them to come out and support us and vote for us. We wanted them to be a part of the democratic process going forward. For too long, those areas have been neglected, and because we were there early and often, the power of the people rose up and helped us get to victory in this election.
Yeah, many people said that Eliot Engel just grew out of touch with the communities that he represented. And for somebody like you grew up in public housing, you were raised by a single mother. So what was that turning point for you that said, okay, I want to enter politics here?
Well, I had worked in education for 20 years. I was a teacher, school counselor, and middle school principal. I was actually the founding middle school principal of the Cornerstone Academy in the Northeast Bronx, right here in the district. So I had deep relationships and deep roots in the community. And I just got tired of seeing our children suffering and dying because of trauma and poverty that resulted from bad policy. It's hard to run an excellent school, and then you still have families dealing with housing insecurity, food insecurity, violence in their neighborhoods, and they didn't have anywhere to turn. And I just wanted to run on a platform that centered the needs of children and families who were most vulnerable. That was my mission. That was the goal. And it connected very well with the people. Yeah,
you mentioned your time as a middle school principal and how that is preparing you for this run for Congress. But let's talk about the other issue right now, which is COVID, right? This COVID crisis, coupled with the fact that the Black Lives Matter protests played a factor in really changing the tides of how people were heading to the polls. Does that explain some of your victory here and how you've really faced those issues with your constituents?
Well, those issues revealed the racial and economic injustice that exists within our country. And we were running on a platform of racial and economic justice from the very beginning. We continue to allow wealth to be concentrated in the hands of a few, in the hands of Wall Street, in the hands of large corporations. But we're not investing enough in healthcare. We're not investing enough in education. Right now, we have over 40 million people out of work. We need to get them back to work. We need to invest in working people and communities that have been neglected. So it's great to see the uprisings across the country demanding racial justice and economic justice. That's what we were fighting for throughout our campaign. So it wasn't hard to pivot to we didn't have to pivot to new topics. It's what we were all about. And yes, we think it did help us to victory in this election.
So where do you stand on some of those issues like police reform, right? That is a big topic right now amongst New Yorkers. How are you prepared to address the issue of police reform if you have a seat in Congress?
Well, at the federal level, we need to get rid of qualified immunity. When police commit a crime, they need to be held accountable. So we need more accountability and we need more transparency. We also need to rethink public health and reallocate our resources away from law enforcement and toward issues like housing, infrastructure, education, and jobs. We think that the police are supposed to keep us safe. But true safety and security lies in, job opportunities, food security, housing security, fully funded schools, environmental justice, and healthcare. Only about 5% of the work police do focuses on, violent crimes like rape, murder, and aggravated assault. The other 95% can be handled differently. So we need to reimagine and rethink public health overall.
I do want to get your take right now, Mr. Bowman. We lost two civil rights icons this weekend, John Lewis, C.T. Vivian. You're picking up the torch really where they left off. So what are your priorities on day one as a congressman?
Continue to fight for racial and economic justice in all its forms. We have structural racism that continues to exist in housing, healthcare, education, which is why we continue to see the disproportionate outcomes in Black and brown communities. John Lewis, he literally bore the bruises of the civil rights movement in Congress. His skull was cracked. He suffered a concussion. He was arrested 40 times. He is the icon that I stand on the shoulders of as I enter Congress. So, but the fight continues, right? And the fight is widespread across the country and it's diverse. And I'm excited and fortunate and humbled to be going into Congress in this moment.
Mr. Bowman, those were the serious questions, but I understand you are a man with a huge personality. So let's get to it. You ready for the lightning round, the Pix 11 lightning round?
Okay, let's do it.
All right, your favorite baseball team, Yankees or Mets, or is it someone else, dare I ask?
Yankees.
Okay, you're going to get picked apart for that one, just so you know. What's your go-to music playlist when you turn on Spotify?
Wu-Tang Clan.
There you go. By the way, there's a great Wu-Tang name generator online. Check it out. Favorite food?
Okay. Oh, man, that's a great question. Fried chicken.
Fried chicken. Best place in New York City to get a slice of pizza?
Oh, man, are you kidding me? You're going to ask me this right now? Best place to get a slice of pizza. Nona's on Riverdale Avenue.
Hey, I know Nona's, and it's fantastic. And last question, since we're on a morning show, coffee or tea to get your caffeine fix?
I usually don't do the caffeine fix thing. I'm a tea guy usually, but when I'm in the mood, I have a cup of coffee.
And what do you do to get your mind off of politics, mind off of everything happening in the world? Take me inside the 2 minutes of peacefulness with Jamaal Bowman.
2 minutes. Yeah, that's about right. It's about 2 minutes.
I know.
I go to the park. I go to the park with my kids, and particularly with my youngest, 6-year-old Maya. We go to the park and just run around, kick a ball, and just have a good time.
There you go. Good to get to know you a bit, sir. Appreciate your time this morning, Jamaal Bowman. Congratulations on your victory.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.